hi. Welcome to the behind the scenes Maverick talking to authors. Today we're going to talk to Katie Dale,
Hi.
who's contributed. We've published, I believe, 40 titles in our reading scheme, which is quite incredible. Tell me, Katie, how do you? What inspires you to write for, the red and the pink bands? They're particularly difficult. You've only got 50 words in some of these titles. It's a technical challenge.
It can be. So it's very different from writing a novel, certainly. But I find it's really fun. It's like a little word puzzle. Because you have like sort of a set number of words and sounds that you can use. Phonics. It's quite strict, the phonics. And to somehow wrangle that into a good story with like a twist or something funny. And I think it's a challenge, and I really enjoy it. It's like
it particularly works, obviously, because your books are very successful. One of the favourites ones we at Maverick, we take particular attention to the quality of the illustrators. This is one of my favourites.
Me too.
Yeah, I love the illustrations in this book. I think if you're a young child of 4, 5, 6, you might be struggling to learn to read. Not
Absolutely.
Every child takes to reading. Having the interesting illustrations really helps. Tell me have you got any particular favourites, Katie?
Yeah, it's hard to choose, isn't it? There's so many. It's like choosing between children, all quite close to my heart.
Oh.
But I find it particularly satisfying when you can write a story that, as well as being a good, fun story, also has a bit of a deeper underlying message, a positive message. So, for example, Clone Alone is about a race of aliens who have come to invade and take over Earth and wipe out the humans because humans are destroying the planet. So they feel like they're rescuing Earth from the humans. But then one of the aliens gets stranded and makes friends with a boy and a girl, and he realises that they're trying to be green, they're doing recycling, they're trying to save the planet. So between them, they save the planet in more ways than one.
Wow. That's not a book I've seen, actually, to be honest. You've got 40 titles in the scheme. Your books have gone into a lot of public libraries. I understand that you're in the top 50 most borrowed authors in the UK.
Yeah, I was bowled over. A friend of mine tipped me off and I couldn't believe it. Top 50 most borrowed adults and children's authors.
Wow.
So just 2 places below Richard Osmon and right behind Enid Blyton, who's one of my favourites from my childhood. It's crazy.
That is
amazing.
Particularly good. Tell me, what would you like to ask me as MD of Maverick?
So, yes, how do you go about running a small publishing company, and what are the trials and the joys of running a small publishing house?
Well, the reading scheme has been built up over many years, and it's something that we're very incredibly proud of. So we promote it very heavily at book fairs, etc. We have been supported by public libraries a lot, and now we're trying to push into obviously into primary schools. So we work with distributors in the UK, and we've got some very good Maverick supporters. Obviously, when we go to book fairs, we're looking for export. Mm-hmm. The export market, in fact, all markets are difficult at the moment. The world is going through a particularly tough time economically. So it is a challenge, But I think when you have challenges, that's when you can prove how good you are. And we so strongly believe in the quality of our reading scheme. What do you think of first? Do you think of a title, or do you think of the story?
That's a very good question, and my answer has changed recently, actually. So for a long time, it was always story first, and then try and think of a good title afterwards, which is sometimes really difficult. But lately, I've become really aware how important titles are. They are the first thing a parent or a child reads. So it can really attract you to a book. And also you can have really good fun with the title if you can make a pun or riff on a classic. For example, Kung Fu Kid, which is obviously a takeoff of the Karate Kid, but it's about a little goat. And so from these books, and to laugh a lot as well, so the story came afterwards. So I thought up a funny title, and that inspired the story.
One of our distributors highlighted this book, The Coach, the Shoes and the Football. Obviously having football in the title it's done very well,
And a retelling of Cinderella.
Yeah. Editorially, Kim, who sets the editorial standard, won't allow any toilet humour in our range. But, believe it or not, we did manage to sneak in The Cow's Bottom.
Yeah. which I thought would particularly appeal to little boys.
Yeah. How did you find us at Maverick? Where did you discover us?
That was quite serendipitous, really. So I'd just been to my very first London book fair, and on the train home, I spotted a man carrying a very eye-catching red bag with Maverick on the side. No, I'd never heard of Maverick before.
No.
So
Well,
when you got off,
not many people had.
I think you just started out at the time.
Yeah.
You got off at the same stop at me as Sussex.
Right.
And I was like, I wonder if there are local publishers. So I Googled you and I got in touch and we had a meeting and here we are.
Fantastic. Well, it was a good day, wasn't it?
It was
a good day. Okay. What advice would you give aspiring people that are trying to get into being published, as young or new authors? Any advice?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say it's not easy, especially these days. The industry has gotten a lot tougher, especially since the pandemic.
Yes.
But if you love writing, if you write because you love writing, and you don't, that's the key thing for you, that you're not just wanting to get published, but you love the act of writing, then go for it. Read a lot, write a lot, work on your craft, and top tip, enter competitions.
Okay.
Because they can give you a really good incentive and a motivation and a deadline.
Yeah.
And most of all, they can give you really great feedback.
I'm going to have to ask, have you entered many competitions?
I have absolutely. So it was a competition that kicked off my career, so I'm very vested in it.
Well, I think that's very good advice then.
Absolutely.
Well, I've really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you very much. And,
it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. Well, that's the first in the series. There'll soon be some more, so thank you for watching.